All right, we're going to see if anybody shows up to hang out with me. Hopefully, my microphone is working. Let's see. I don't know if I can test it again, but let's see. I'm going to share it on the internet. There. Okay. There, perfect. Okay. Nobody's here yet. I'm waiting 15 minutes and then I'm out. If nobody shows up in 15 minutes, I'm out of here. Let's see, Sam Bennett post on Twitter 1 minute ago. Thank you to the Power Rangers fans worldwide who have jumped onto Once and Always on Netflix and are sharing their thoughts and enthusiasm. Everyone involved put their hearts and souls into this, and I can tell and I can see that so many people are appreciating the love and attention to detail. So much attention to detail. There we go. Okay, anybody here yet? Nobody's here yet. Okay, like I said, 15 minutes and then I'm out. Super out. All right. I guess I'll read this. I mean, I think I'll put it over on this monitor so I can actually see if anybody shows up, but I'll read this article. So it says Netflix's Mighty Morphin Power Rangers reunion special is millennial nostalgia done right. No kidding. Okay. So 30 years later, it's once again Morphin time. The Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, with all their cheesy, hacky primary color glory, they're not all primary colors, but whatever, have returned 3 decades after they ruled the lives of millennial kids, chomping on Dunkaroos after school in the 90s. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. The original series ran from 1993 to 1996 in the Fox Kids programming block, spawned a mega franchise of dozens of series, films, and more toys and merchandise than even the great Zordon could imagine. The show, based on the Japanese series Super Sentai, featured 5, later 6 teenagers with attitude and superpowers fighting increasingly harebrained monsters from space, which Rita Repulsa to a turtle with a traffic light on his head. I think it was in his shell, wasn't it? Now Netflix has brought them back as 50-somethings with attitude and Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Once and Always now streaming. The reunion film sees 2 of the original cast members, David Yost, Billy Cranston, the Blue Ranger, and Walter Emmanuel Jones, Zach Taylor, the Black Ranger. Tributes to the late actors Twee Trang, Yellow Ranger, and Jason David Frank, Green Ranger, later White Ranger. And a whole lot of silliness. So much silliness. It's been 4.5 minutes. Unlike the high gloss box office flop film adaptation Power Rangers in 2017, I liked that movie, if I'm honest. Makes no attempt to modernize or mature the franchise, and in a world where Batman movies aren't for kids anymore, that's a wonderful thing. Once and Always is a genuine, earnest, and entirely ridiculous hour-long special that captures the heart of what made Power Rangers such a good show for kids. The special finds our Rangers now aged considerably up, in peril from Rita Repulsa once again, although now she's even more powerful. Robo Rita, played by Barbara Goodson, which, so happy about. After 2 devastating fights in which Rita kills the Yellow Ranger and kidnaps the Pink, Green, and Red Rangers, all originally played by actors who did not return or who have passed away. I mean, at the point of filming, Twee was the only one that had passed because Jason David Frank didn't pass away until after they finished filming. It's up to Billy and Zach to take her down. They get some help from other versions of the Rangers. Steve Cardenas as Red Ranger Rocky DeSantos, and Catherine Sutherland as Pink Ranger Kat Hillard. Also along for the ride, Min Charlie Kirsch, the orphaned teen daughter of the late Yellow Ranger Trini Trang. Once and always makes do with just a few returning actors, thanks to the handy Ranger helmets that once allowed the original series to slice in footage from the Japanese inspiration. The special hits all the hallmarks millennial fans will remember from their school days: Angel Grove Gym and Juice Bar, Alpha, and of course the Megazord. There are battles on the moon, a flying car, and kitschy martial arts. There's plenty of attitude. The only change is the age of the Rangers, which is jarring to see at first, but hey, their stunt doubles are still doing great work. I don't know why people have such a problem with aging. And Walter Emmanuel Jones has not aged a minute since Mighty Morphin. Just saying. He's still hot as ever. Too many reboots, revivals, and remakes attempt to take a story made for children and families, from superheroes to dinosaurs to video game characters, and serve a wistful adult audience. But that's simultaneously I can't read it at the moment. That's fine. I'm dyslexic. I can't read ever, so it's fine. Where was I at? Wait. Infantilize adults audiences and leaving out the kids. The 2017 Power Rangers film was a flop because the Rangers have always been too earnest and too uncool to get the glossy Marvel treatment. There is no way to take a show about teens with attitude fighting ridiculous monsters with out of sync hammy dialogue and make it more adult. Power Rangers belongs to our inner kids and once and always remembers that. And so I was saying to my mom, although it's the end of the article, that was what I was saying. That's what I was saying to my mom earlier today. I was like, it was like they genuinely knew who the audience was, which I appreciate. I love that. So it has now been 8 minutes. If nobody's here in 15 minutes, I'm out. Once this clock reads 15 and nobody's here, I'm out. Looks like somebody's here. I don't know if anybody's going to talk to me. But that's all I have at the moment, man. I was hoping somebody'd show up during all of that, but no. So. Anyone gonna talk to me? It's okay if nobody wants to talk to me. I will gladly go to bed because I'm tired. And I wake up at 4 o'clock every morning. 4:30. Usually 4 o'clock, though. Nobody's commented yet, so I'm just going to continue to read about the Mall of America on my phone. It's important because it's literally like not far from my house, so. Anybody? Nobody? That's fine. Nobody has to talk to me. I'm going to leave here in like 5 minutes if nobody talks, so. I was watching, while I was waiting for the stream to start, I was watching the podcast that Melissa Joan Hart does with a friend of hers that she made called What Women Binge, and Catherine Sutherland was on it. That was just put up today to obviously promote Once and Always. So that's been kind of fun to watch. So let me see. Anything happening on Twitter at the moment? Anything else I can pull up and chat about? That's actually really funny. I need to remember that. Aww. That's cute. Simon Bennett liked my tweet. That's what I love about Simon Bennett is he is genuinely somebody that like really wants to interact with fans. I love that. I love that about him. I like that. Anybody here? Oh, hi. Okay. Hey, I saw Once and Always and it was a great, and I really hope it leads to a 10 episode series like Johnny Ambush teased at a panel. Yes, I went to Anime Detour a couple weeks ago and he was talking about the same thing. He was like, it's going to leave you wanting more. And I'm not saying there's going to be more, but there might be more, which I think would be absolutely fantastic. They left it really open ended at the end. So maybe there'll be more. It'd be really nice to see more. I would be here for more. You thought it was also really good. I did too. I thought it was really fantastic. It was, I tweeted at Simon Bennett. Well, I tweet a lot, but not a lot, but enough. And just before this stream, I had Simon Bennett had posted a thank you message, and he said something about attention to detail, and I said there was so much attention to detail. It was like you did your homework on the Zordon era. So I was really appreciative of the work that went into that. There were a couple of things that irked me, mostly in the dialogue section. Like there was a lot of exposition in the dialogue, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but I guess maybe that's very, very Power Rangers-y. If that was, if that's maybe an excuse, I guess, to have a lot of exposition and dialogue. Like I wish they, instead of like Min being like, was it worth giving up your time in Congress to come and take care of me or whatever it was she said, and I'm like, or why couldn't we just see Zach at Congress? Like show not tell kind of thing, where the exposition should be imagery versus through dialogue. I think that for the most part it was well written, but the dialogue was every once in a while, it wasn't it wasn't consistent throughout the thing, but every once in a while there was a bit of dialogue that I'm just like, that could have been a show don't tell kind of situation. My dog is getting now very antsy. What do you want? Hey, dude, what's going on? Can you go chew on your bone again, or your Kong or something? You're just gonna be in trouble. All right, that sounds good. I hope for a 10 episode SPA series with Adam and Isha. Let's keep supporting Once and Always. Yes, I would love to know more about SPA. I think, obviously, because like it's obviously a reference to SPD, right? Instead of Space Patrol Delta, Space Patrol Alpha. That only would make sense. But I would love to see more about it, like what it's for and things like that. Like, is it a predecessor? But that doesn't really make sense because SPD, we're not far off from when SPD takes place. Doesn't that take place in 2025? Like we're 2 years out. So like I would have to watch SPD again. It's been a minute since I've watched SPD, but I'd like to know more about that. Plus, I feel like they didn't get enough airtime. They only got 2 scenes, and so I really wish that they would have given them a little bit more. I also hope for a Zeo special with Tanya. She deserves more love, honestly. Absolutely. I love, absolutely adore Tanya. She's one of my favorite Yellow Rangers. Um, and I think they really missed an opportunity to have a really fun pairing between her and Adam. And I think that they made it clear that they were dating. But because she's never come back, but Adam has, like, there's really not much else to like, there's not much to read into that, I guess. But not all high school relationships last forever. Maybe only just my sister's. Mine, well, I never dated in high school, but I'm certainly not with my first boyfriend. So there you go. The font of SPA is the same as font of SPD or SPA. Sorry. Whoa, my brain. SPA. Yeah, I mean, a lot of it's the same. The uniforms are relatively the same, and the font is the same. So clearly they're connected. So I'd like to see how they're connected. Are they different departments? Are they on different planets? Things like that. I'd love to see those connections, because clearly Adam and Aisha are traveling through space. So it'd be curious to see, like, if there may be different departments or something. Yeah, there's clearly a connection of some sort. Clearly a connection, which I think I'd love to explore more. And I wish they had more to do with that. A friend of mine that watched a special after I did, he just watched a special not too long ago. He might join in if he sees the tweet or sees the notification. I know he's hanging out with his partner, but they're just having dinner. I just saw a text that they're just sitting down to dinner, so I don't know if he'll join us. But he was talking about how he wishes it was more of a mini series, that it wasn't just like an hour-long special. He wishes it was a full mini series so there could be more things that were fleshed out. And that's one thing that I wish was more fleshed out. I wish that we could have possibly my dog is annoying my cat. Hold on. Hey, Apollo, come here. Can you leave the cat alone, please, for just a hot second? Thank you. I wish that that's something they could have done more with. I wish that Adam and Aisha had more airtime. But who knows? I mean, there's always the possibility that those two didn't have enough time to film, or couldn't move to New Zealand for that amount of time. So they possibly just went out there either at the very beginning or the very end, and they just filmed their stuff, or whenever they could, and they just filmed their stuff, and then those two left. So they may have only just been there for a week to film or something. Where the others could be out there for longer. Because it sounds like, according to Amy Jo Johnson, they were expected to be out there for about a month, because that's what she had said in a tweet. Was she wasn't sure, or in one of her tweets about people hating on her for not joining the special, was like, maybe I didn't want to move out there for a month. So I'm guessing the ones that were out there for probably about a month, which I get she's got a small kid. I've got my zoo, but I would move to New Zealand for a month. Personally, I would love it. That'd be amazing. Anything off this continent. I've never been off this continent, except for I went to the Caribbean twice, but I've been to Mexico and I've been to Canada, but I've never been off this continent, really. So I'm not gonna be able to be on here very long, because I do wake up at 4:30 every morning. So I'll probably only be on here for another, like, I'll probably be on here until 9, which it's 8:19. I'm in the Central Time Zone. So but yeah, I am glad they left it really open-ended, because it does feel like they might actually do more, which, quite frankly, I am here for. I would also like to see Min do more. And I know I remember seeing a video on YouTube not too long ago, where they talked about like, who is the Green Ranger. I mean, I figured it was Tommy. To an extent, he just wouldn't be unmorphed, right? Kind of like we saw with Legendary Battle, where we had a bunch of Power Rangers that just didn't unmorph themselves or take off their helmets or anything. So I figured that's what they were going to do with the 3 that didn't. Well, no, wait. Yeah, 3 that didn't show up to do the filming. Because JDF was alive when they filmed. And then I'm guessing Austin St. John couldn't leave the country because, legal battles. But that's what I figured they did with the Rangers that didn't show up for filming. They were just going to keep them on with helmets on. What are you doing? Stop it. Stop. What are you doing, you weirdo? But I don't remember where I was going with that at all. Actually, I don't remember. So it's fine. I'm tired. So, but yeah, I thought it was a really great special. I'm thrilled. I mean, I'm still processing it. I watched it this morning. Like I watched it like 6:00 this morning. So, and I'm not kidding. Like I think it ended just after 6:00 because that's my life. And it's still like processing in my brain, but I spent the whole day working, so maybe I didn't have a chance. But like I was very emotional for a good portion of the morning. Like it was a very emotional ride. I'm not a huge like I'm not quiet about my mental health disorders, my mental health struggles, and I struggle with a lot of mental health stuff. And Power Rangers was one of the things when I was a kid and struggling with mental health issues that made me feel safe and made me feel comfortable. And so whenever I do watch Power Rangers, especially something that reminds me of when I was a kid. So if I see previous Power Rangers from that time frame, like when Austin St. John finally came back, I think the last time he'd come back was Forever Red, and he came back for Beast Morphers, and I genuinely cried. I like sobbed for a long time. Like I had to pause the show. What does my dog have? What do you have? Why do you have a stop it? Stop it. This is my life with my dog, everyone. Oh my gosh, this bed. Stop it. What is your problem, you weirdo? Okay, we're back. So the corners of my bed fall through my frame for no reason. Anyway, so anytime I see something like that, it makes me very emotional because it, in a good way, triggers my my history stuff that I have going on, my trauma. In a good way, does that. What do you have? A knife? No, he didn't have a knife. He had a washcloth. I don't know where he got it from. Clearly the kitchen. Oh my god, he got it again. Dog. Oh, he dropped it. You are a piece of work. Let me tell you. You are a piece of work, dog. My dog is a lot, y'all. I love my dog. I really miss Cosmo sometimes. I mean, I miss Cosmo every day. You can see my little right here. That's his food dish. Those are his ashes, and then his two favorite toys. Hi, bud. This is Apollo. You're a good dog. I know. But yeah, so I got really emotional during it for a lot of reasons. One, because it was triggering some stuff, but in a good way, but also to like, I mean, spoiler alert, they kill off Trini. What are you doing? Stop it. My dog is driving me bonkers. But also the end, like with the tribute to Twee and JDF, like I absolutely lost it with them showing that scene from the first season. I think it was from the first season when Kimberly started singing and Zach came and sat with her and started singing with her. And then the last two people they showed, and that was Jason Diffrink and then Twee Trang. And I was just like, oh no. And then they went to the dedication, and I I lost it. I absolutely lost it. So I spent the good portion of this morning just absolutely just weeping. I'm glad I work from home because otherwise people at my office would have thought I was crazy. Like if I still had to go into the office, people would have thought I was genuinely crazy. Because I'm just sitting at my desk just crying over the fact that like it was just such a good special. It was good. It was good. Like I said, there were a couple of things that like I feel like they could have written a little bit better. Specifically just some dialogue was really exposition-y, but for the most part it was really great. I think I have to watch it a couple more times, but I think it's probably my favorite special. Anyone who is watching right now, I know there's only like 2 of you, but anybody who's watching right now, what is your favorite special? And if it's this one, what was your favorite special before this one? For me, it was Once a Ranger. Even though Operation Overdrive was not my favorite season by a long shot, the only good things about Operation Overdrive was Mac's storyline and Once a Ranger. I did really appreciate Once a Ranger because I felt like that was a really good integration of previous Power Ranger team or previous Power Rangers into the current Power Rangers team, which I think was really a really good balance. A really good balance and a really good story. Except for of course, like I don't understand how Thrax existed. And so I really like that one. Forever Red was also really, really good, but they just didn't integrate the new team or the current team as much because they just had Cole in it. So you said I met actress and friend of Twee, Angela Rockwood, who was in the accident with Twee. She always makes lovely tributes to Twee on her social media. I think that's really great. I've never looked at her social media before, but yeah, that was awful. Forever Red was your favorite. Yeah, Forever Red's a solid one. I have my issues with Forever Red 2. Just mostly the size of Serpentera, because Serpentera is much smaller in Forever Red than Serpentera actually was in the series. But and I have trouble believing that Cole could just like fly into its mouth and destroy it when it was like this super powerful Zord. But at the same time, I think Forever Red was a genuinely good season. Listen to me, special. I wish that one could have been the length of Once and Always, because I think if they could have made that an hour, I really do feel like they could have made that a really like that probably could have been the most epic out of all of them. But anytime I get to see Eric from Time Force, I'm happy. So, but and the return of Jason, that was the first time Jason had come back, or Austin St. John had come back since the Turbo movie. So, and Jason was my favorite Power Ranger growing up. So when I was a kid, Jason was definitely my favorite. So though I was watching, I just showed my mom the end earlier when we were hanging out. I showed her the end of Once and Always. I was like, why wasn't Zach my favorite? And my mom was like, I don't know. She's like, I always liked Zach. So I don't know why Jason was my favorite when Zach probably should have been. But so I really like what they did with the special, and I hope they do more stuff with this kind of stuff. Bud, hi, what are you doing? So my dog likes to give hugs. So here, I'll show you. Can I have a hug? Yeah, good job. So this is what he does. He just jumps up like this. Hug. Nice. Can I have a kiss? Thank you. That was a nice kiss. Yeah, my dog is very sweet. He started doing this on his own. Like this was something he started doing just on his own. Like I didn't teach him this. He just started doing this. I don't know if it's because I like to give hugs, so he sees me hug. And I think he just is like, okay, humans like to wrap their arms around each other. So okay, I'll do that. And he just started doing this on his own. I don't know when he's gonna stop. I usually don't like push him off unless I have to do something. Go somewhere. What you doing, bud? Have a kiss? No? Okay. What? My dog is a very special dog. I like him a lot. Apollo, come here. Apollo, come here. Oh, he's making me nervous. Come here. Oh boy. Hold on. Apollo. There you go. Am I back? StreamYard says I'm back. I don't know what happened just then. Got a really long cord for my microphone because whenever I do voiceover projects, I don't have it right next to my computer. I kind of take it away from my computer a little bit. So I think it's a 10-foot cord, if I'm not mistaken. So sometimes it can get wrapped up in stuff and get unplugged. But I think this thing is also going down too. I need to buy a new mic. I have one in my Amazon cart. I just haven't purchased it yet. So is there anything about the special, whoever's in here, is there anything about the special that you wish they would have done more with or would have done differently? Like I said, for me, there's some dialogue stuff, but that's just, film school Brit, who actually took like screenwriting classes and stuff. Where there are just some things where I'm like, ugh, that was too much exposition and dialogue. Otherwise, I think that a lot of everything, pretty much everything else was pretty good. Like I said, I wish they could have maybe done more with Adam and Aisha. I guess it depends on what their schedule looked like. I mean, like I said, maybe they were only able to be there for a short amount of time. So they may have only been able to just shoot what they could while those two were there. But I would have liked to have seen more with that for sure. But other than that, I felt very satisfied. I felt very, very satisfied with the special in general. So there's not a whole heck of a lot that I would be like, I wish I would have done that differently. And as you guys may know from seeing like my episode reviews, whether it be the ones I edited or the ones I did live streams for, when Judd Lynn was in charge, a lot of times I was like, they could have done more here. They could have done more here. They could have done more here. Judd Lynn was a thorn. I'm sorry, Chip Lynn is how he likes to be credited now, but he was Judd Lynn back when I was a kid. He liked he was a thorn in my side. I wish they fought longer with the weapons, but I was glad to see them, and I wish the Zord bit was a bit longer. Perhaps a bit with the Zords fighting individually. Yeah, I mean the Zord fight could have been longer, but I think if you think back to Power Rangers, there wasn't a lot of Zord fighting. I feel like the Zord fighting was kind of the last bit of it. So then having to come together to defeat the Snake Eye. Yeah, I mean, they could have done something more like that. But they separate the team out a little bit. So there's always that reasoning. But yeah, those are valid. Those are absolutely valid things that have been nice to see more of. Like it'd been nice to have seen, like you said about the weapons. It would have been nice to see, them put them together into the blaster. Like that would have been nice. To see Min kind of jump into that Trini role of them putting the blaster together. That would have been cool. So yeah, I those are valid. Those are absolutely valid. Would have liked to see a direct tie into Cosmic Fury. I don't think that was the intention though. You know what I mean? Like And that's valid because obviously we're looking at Cosmic Fury coming up. But I think this was meant to be primarily just celebrating Mighty Morphin. Which I think is kind of interesting because they had, if you looked at like the captured Rangers, they had Rangers from all different seasons. Like I saw Trent, I saw a whole bunch of Rangers from different seasons. I even saw some Beast Morpher Rangers in there. So it was a nice at least nod to other Ranger teams. But I think this was primarily meant to celebrate Mighty Morphin and essentially be a love letter to Twee. You liked how Rita yeeted the snake guy out of the window, and the snake guy was like, "What I do?" Yeah, I thought that was just a really cool, very Rita thing because I feel like that even like Rita, like the Bandora Rita, right? The Bandora version of Rita, which again I really appreciated the special where they actually called the Bandora, what was it? The Bandora Protocol, and I was like, that's a great tie-in to Zyuranger. Like that's fantastic. Um to tie in Bandora, right? But I think that even the Bandora version of Rita I think would have absolutely done that. I think that's absolutely hilarious and I loved that too. That was really great. What are some of their really great moments? I mean, there are so many great moments. Of course, I wish that the other Rangers could have been there, but like I said, Austin St. John probably can't leave the country right now. And even back then probably couldn't leave the country. And then Amy Jo made it clear that there was just something that she couldn't agree to. So more power to her for advocating for herself. Proud of her for that. And then JDF, I mean, I know he was going through some personal stuff, which eventually led to his untimely death. But, plus I think he was also probably filming his new movie. Was it White Dragon? Legend of the White Dragon? I think is what it's called. Which I'll obviously be checking out when that comes out. But I'm sure he's probably filming that roughly around the same time. So that even if the personal issues weren't a reason why he couldn't do it, that was probably a good reason why he couldn't do it. So it'd been nice to see all of them together. Like it would have been great to see all of them together, but life happens sometimes. So what you doing, dude? Any other really great moments that you guys can think of? Because honestly, there were a lot of really great moments. I love seeing the return of the rad bug. I feel like that was a really great callback because the rad bug wasn't really used that much in Mighty Morphin. I feel like they created it just as a way to get the Rangers to the command center during the Green Ranger miniseries, and then they really didn't utilize it much. Like Billy built a flying car and they didn't even really utilize it that much in the 90s. So it was really great to see like the return of that, which we knew because obviously we saw that in promo stuff, but it was really great to see the rad bug return. That I feel like is very hey, if you watch this as a kid and you remember it, like the real, like the honest to God fans have been sticking with Power Rangers forever. Would you not? Please, thank you. The honest to God, like fans of Power Rangers. Not that if you came in later, you're not a real fan. Like obviously you are, but the ones that like me who've been with it off and on, for me, off and on, since the beginning, since 1993. What do you have now? Do not eat Moroku. Give me that back. Dog, you are a weirdo. This dog. He clearly wants attention right now, and I'm not giving it to him because I'm focused on my computer. And so he does this whenever he's like does things that gets him attention, which is stuff I don't want him to destroy. So he'll grab those things and be like, look, you're a weirdo. It's time for bed. It is definitely almost time for bed. I need to go to bed soon. So, but yeah, I mean, I've let it really process. I really do think this is probably gonna be my favorite special. I think for me, it's definitely like it's definitely one of those things where I think it really needs to process for me. Like I said, a lot of stuff triggered with it, in good ways, not in bad ways. But a lot of things triggered with it. And I spent the majority of the special crying. So I think once I can actually sit down and watch it and not be overwhelmed with emotion, like the emotions took over until probably about lunchtime at work, which for me lunchtime is like 11:30 because I start at 7 every morning. So like I said, I'm really glad I work from home. At least this week I'm working from home. I'm hybrid, so sometimes I have to go into the office, but this week I'm working from home for sure. So I don't think I have to go back in the office until June right now, but yeah, it was very wonderful, and I really liked it. It was a really good special. So I just really need to like let it process and let it simmer in there in my brain. I might need to watch it a couple more times to really appreciate it. Um, but yeah, can anybody else think of any more fun moments? If not, I might actually cut this out a little sooner. Might leave at 8:45 here, coming up in a few minutes because I really should go to bed. But it was a lot of fun. Um, like I said, there were a couple of things that just me as like again somebody who went to film school kind of went could have maybe done that a little differently. But for the most part, it was beautiful. It was wonderful, and it'll probably be my favorite. And honestly, Simon Bennett, I think, is going to go down as one of the best showrunners in Power Rangers history, which I am not against. I'm very happy about. Um, he's been a breath of fresh air because if you know anything about my feelings about Neo Saban, you will know that Chiplin, Judlin, is not my favorite person. So, but yeah, I think it was a fantastic, fantastic special, and I'm glad too that it was an hour long, because that was one thing that I was concerned about. Was I remember thinking, God, I hope they take advantage of the fact that they're on Netflix. Because if they can take advantage of the fact that they're on Netflix and like make it like a genuine long thing, because that's the problem we've had is Forever Red was only an episode, right? Once a Ranger, I think, was 2, if I'm not totally mistaken. Again, it's been a minute. Legendary Battle was 1, but they did have the extended version, which I prefer over the regular one, mostly and only just because of Astronema. Like, quite frankly, it's Corone that makes the extended cut like a must do for me, because I love being a ranger because of the fact that, she's been on both sides. She's been the villain and she's been a ranger. Um and then um Dimensions in Danger, I think, again, was only 1 episode. So that was one thing that I was concerned with. I was like, "Oh my gosh, are they only going to do like the 1 episode? And is it going to be just like a half an hour? Is it going to feel rushed?" Like Dimensions in Danger felt rushed. Like, mind you, Dimensions in Danger wasn't a bad special, but I feel like, and obviously it's the last time we're going to see Jason David Frank as Tommy. But like, was it felt really rushed, so it wasn't gonna be like that. But when I loaded it up this morning and I saw that it was an hour long, I was thrilled. Absolutely thrilled. Can I help you? All right. I think it is time for me to call it. So thank you to those of you who joined. I know it's just 2 of you, but thank you for joining and having fun with me for the last 45 minutes. And I'll see you all next time. I'm going to end it here. Bye, y'all.